Today I'm going to be setting up a turtle tank for 2 red air sliders that were just surrendered to me. So let's get started.
So come along with me, it's SuzyQue. Hey.
Yes, that's right. 2 red air sliders have been surrendered to me, and they're babies. Well, they're not babies. They're about 4 inches each. So I need to set them up in an indoor container while the ponds are getting ready. And it's still a little too cold to put my turtles out. So I started by covering the wall. I just covered the wall with a black shower curtain. That way I can put the shelf and the tank in front of it. Today I'm going to be setting up a 40-gallon breeder for a temporary home for these 2 turtles. Now if you have a red air slider, gotta imagine they're going to be about the size of a dinner plate. So let's say it's about 8 inches, 10 inches. So you're going to want a 100-gallon aquarium. 100 gallons of water for that red air slider to swim and explore. If it was one 4-inch turtle, let's say it was like a Reeves turtle. A Reeves turtle isn't going to get larger than 4 inches usually. A 40-gallon breeder, this would be a perfect home for a Reeves turtle. So depending on the turtle you have, you can kind of look at it and gauge it not by how big your turtle is now, but what's your full-grown turtle going to be. And that's how you gauge what size aquarium you're going to get. If you're going to have an 8-inch turtle, then you're going to want at least a 75, 90-gallon aquarium and not half filled with water. You're going to want to fill it up with water. So I'm going to show you how to make a basking area or different ideas you can use for a basking area when you want to utilize more of your tank. I'm using this 40-gallon breeder for my 2 new turtles, and they'll probably be in here maybe a month, 6 weeks until the weather breaks a little bit. So I'm excited. So as you can see right now, this is on one of these little metal racks. You know, these metal racks with the wire shelving that's held up with 2 plastic clips that click together. I am going to say, first I was going to say I recommend. I do not recommend you putting an aquarium with water on those tanks. Those tanks are not meant to hold a whole lot of weight. So what I've done is I put 4 cinder blocks underneath, and that's actually what's holding up this bottom shelf. It's not the plastic clips holding it in place. The wheels are actually off the floor. And then I put styrofoam down to level off the small spots. And I'm using this 40-gallon breeder. Currently I'm taking some of the water out because I'm going to start adding the substrate. Now remember, whatever volume you put in, that water will raise. So don't fill it up to the top and then put in substrate. So as far as substrate goes, my favorite is gravel. I love to put gravel on top of dirt and have a planted aquarium. That's one of my favorite looks. But with turtles, you want to stay away from gravel. Gravel, especially the pea gravel and the aquarium gravel, it's small enough where if they're going to grab a worm or they're grabbing their food or they think it's food, it could get stuck, and that could be some serious problems for your turtle. Sand is okay. So I'm going to be using sand and some larger rocks. I'm going to be using some larger rocks that I've gathered from around the yard, around the house, around other tanks. They've all been washed and ready to go. All the different rocks and shapes and places and nooks and crannies will give them tons of places to entertain, because the substrate is not only going to act as a substrate, but it's also going to start their adventure in engagement, stimulation. I want to keep them entertained. It's very easily for turtles to get bored. I'm going to start with rocks. So I guess I'll start with the larger rocks and move them. Now last year I used light diffuser, a plastic light diffuser, and put the rocks on that so the rock wasn't sitting on the glass. Well, with a turtle tank, and these turtles, just to be honest, poop a lot. They poop a lot. It was very hard for me to clean. So I'm going to make sure the rock is sitting on the glass before I put the sand down. So if they're dig, it's not going to fall onto grass. And most turtles like it about 75. They don't like it too warm and they don't like it too cold. If anything, on the cooler side. So since this room gets about 65 degrees, I'm going to have to raise 40 gallons of water by 10 degrees. So I need a heater that's going to raise this body of water by 10 degrees. I have a 100-watt heater that I think will be fine. I'm going to put it in. They make plastic casings for heaters so that if a turtle knocks it around, it's not going to smash. I think I'm going to get one for this. I don't have one yet, but I think I'm going to get one for this. Right now it's stuck to the side. It's okay. So now I have a heater in the tank. The water is refilling. I probably could have washed the sand a little better, but oh well, I didn't. The next thing, so we have the substrate, we have the heater, we got the water in there. I added the water. I have to add water conditioner. So no matter what your water conditioner is, you got to make sure you take out those chlorines and chloramines if you're using tap water. It's meant to keep people safe, not turtles and fish. So the next thing I'm going to add is the filter. There are several filters you can use. They have turtle filters. They have filters built into rocks, but this would be totally submerged, so I didn't want to use that. They have, did I say this filter? That works well. I have it in some of my other tanks, but in this tank, I am going to try the shark. Let me show you about this filter. So this filter is easy to take apart to clean. It's actually held on by a strong magnet. Inside each of these is sponges, mechanical filtration, biological filtration, and the magnetic just sits like that. It's pretty strong magnetic with some suction cups on the back. So it's going to suck in the water from down here, go through all this filtration, and got a waterfall on top, and you can regulate how strong and how slow you want it. So I'm going to put this right here next to the heater. Because if this heater is heating up water, I'm going to want it to be next to the filter so it's picking it up and shooting it out. Now this shark filter, I love this shark filter. I get this from KG Tropicals, keepfishkeeping.com. I'll leave a link below. I've got my substrate in there. I've got some decorations. Now I'm going to put out the topper. I got it at PetSmart, and I liked it because I have a couple turtle toppers, but they're all for 12-inch in width tanks. So it's good for 55-gallon, it's good for 20 long. But I knew I wanted to utilize this space with a 40-gallon breeder, or maybe if I have to bring them back inside, put them on my 90-gallon aquarium, which is 18 inches in depth. So I got this top. I really like it. Let's take a look. So it's going to have this cage on top, so that's easy for me to get to the turtle if I need to while they're basking. It's got a half of a lid where you can thread your cords through, which is what I am going to thread the heater through and the filter. I'm actually seating on top of a rock so it's not sitting in the sand. So the other part of the top, besides this small piece that allows you to thread electrical stuff through, you can snap the ramp right into place, just like that. It's a perfect fit. You can utilize, I like these top ones because you can utilize all the swimming space, and this fits right on top. So now we still need lights. Two kinds of lights. We need our basking light and we need our UVB light. Some reptiles need a 10.0 or 12%. Like the bearded dragon. But I am using a 5.0 for the turtles, and this is a long T5 tube for the UVB. And I'm using this because I wanted to capture most of the basking area with the UVB. So this will go back here. So now I've got 3 cords, and then my basking light. I like to keep the UVB closer to the ramp's edge, because a lot of times the turtle is hanging right on the lamp's edge or just getting to the top of the ramp, and that's where he's going to bask. I added some guppies because there's so many places for these guys to hide. Now we're going to wait for the water to clear up. That shark should clear up that water pretty quick, and I'll do some wire management. As I attached the heater and the filter to this pole and ran it up so all the wires are going to this. So I got the heater, the filter, the UVB, and the basking. All 4 things at my fingertip I could turn on and off if I need to. But right now I am going to add the turtles. This is my Eastern painted turtle. But wait, I was going to put my red air sliders in this tank. What happened? Well, 2 different things. One, my audio went out, so we're going to look like a very B-rated movie. That's okay. But these are my 2 red air sliders that I just adopted. Are they not gorgeous? They were surrendered to me through my kids' store at QueAquatics. See if I can get them in the light here. Gorgeous. They're in good shape. They just got them not too long ago, and they weren't interested. Now, these 2 red air sliders were in a 10-gallon aquarium. So this 40-gallon breeder I'm going to put them in is a huge upgrade. But I definitely don't want to put these 2 red air sliders in with the painted turtles. So I am going to use a different turtle topper on this here 40-gallon next to me. Now a 40-gallon is 18 inches wide and the turtle topper is 12 inches. So I am going to put down some brackets, some supports. I'm just using the supports that came with the shelving unit to hold up that turtle topper. And then I'm going to put some twin wall polycarbonate lid-like so that they can't climb out. Because keep in mind, when the water's filled to the top, it is very easy for a turtle just to crawl out of the tank, so you have to have a lid. And it's very hard to have a lid when you're using a turtle topper, so I'm going to have to make a lid. This has clay gravel to it, so I'm not worried about them eating it. They're not really pebbles, but when they start digging, it is going to get muddy, but that's okay. They're red air sliders. So until I can make a fitting lid, I'm just going to piecemeal some of these twin wall polycarbonate sheets. I'm going to piece them together, and then I'll put like a small weight or something on top. And don't go running out to turn your timer off. That was me. But these 2 female red air sliders still need a name. They've got the UVB and UVA bulb up there on top of their basking. I might put a nice thin piece of slate on this one as well. This 40-gallon breeder has some white cloud mountain minnows. It also has a couple of fathead minnows in it. The white cloud mountain minnows are just too fast. I don't believe these red air sliders will ever catch them. But this should be fun. Let's get back to the painted turtles. This is my Eastern painted turtle. Let me focus on her. She's beautiful. She is a 1.5 years old. And we'll see how she likes this up here. Now I'm going to add my Western painted female. Beautiful. Now I'll put her up here. And see how long it takes her. I'll even put the basking up here. Put the UVB back. The reasons I like these turtle toppers is because it lets me utilize the entire tank for water and swimming space. I like that a lot better. But if you don't have a turtle topper, you can leave the water partially filled like this and then build up a basking area above the water but still below the rim of the tank. But I wanted to show off and show this topper. Now I tried to have it on my 40-gallon rack that I built where the 40-gallon tanks fit. It's like they fit like a glove. It's a perfect fit. I needed an extra 2/8 of an inch for the sides of this lid and it didn't fit. I had also tried to set it up upstairs in my reptile den underneath here, and the top shelf was maybe 1 inch lower than I needed for this topper to fit. So I went through and tried to set it up here to no avail. So I've been really dying to set this up in a 40-gallon breeder that had enough space for this to fit. And then I might even make like a little rock garden up here Maybe some slate, something flat. Flat rock I think would be nice up here. So I got this piece out in the backyard. This is perfect. I scrubbed it off. I think this will be great. And the best part about it is when the light hits the rock will actually heat up and give them some warmth that'll last longer than when the light goes off. So that's nice. Although he doesn't seem to mind the screen. Maybe adding a whole garden and basking area, but that'll come in time. I really like how this tank came out, but it kind of looks like it's kind of drab, all the same color. I would love to add some splash of colors, maybe some hardy plastic plants, something they could swim through. So I am very happy with how this tank came out for these little painted turtles. Even though they're not the red air sliders, I do like the tank that the red air sliders are in, right next to these little guys with the new turtle topper. So thanks everybody, thanks for coming out and checking out my new turtle topper and setting up my, actually two 40-gallon breeders. One for my red air sliders and one for my painted turtle ladies. See you next time.
Hey, everybody, it's SuzyQue. Hey, everybody, it's SuzyQue. Nah, hey, everybody, it's SuzyQue. So come along with me. Said I'm SuzyQue.